Okay, so I have a sixth grade class in my internship, and so we were trying to identify what they did wrong during their math test, all on the same problem number 3. The problem reads, a one-year subscription to monthly magazine costs $15.60. The regular newsstand price is $1.95 per issue. How much is saved per issue by paying the subscription price? So what they ultimately needed to figure out was what they were solving for in this problem. So were they solving for what's the price if you buy monthly, what's the price if you buy yearly? Well, it was really how they wanted to solve it, but ultimately they wanted to know what was saved by buying the subscription yearly versus the monthly, and how much was saved per issue by doing it that way. And so each of my 3 students did their problem a little bit differently, but they all kind of got really random answers, I would say, while not showing their work. So this is how I can best show their work. So on this left side of their paper, they could write their work or they had math squares. So how they should have solved it is done 12 times the number per issues, which is 1.95. So if they had done that right, they would have learned how to set that problem up. But in our classes, we were focusing on adding the 2 zeros behind the decimal to make the spaces line up correctly when you multiply. So after they multiplied this, they would have gotten 23.40. And what this means is that they spent $23.40 on each issue, or not on each issue, actually, on the whole issue if they purchased them separately at the newsstand. So $23.40 is what they would have spent in the year. But remember in our problem that it said we would spend $15.60 if you bought it the subscription annually. So what they needed to come to the conclusion at after solving that is $23.40 larger than $15.60? Which one are they going to spend more on doing, if they buy annually or if they buy separately during the year? My teacher has them solve that first before they can solve the unit price. So let's go back to the question. A one-year subscription to the monthly magazine costs $15.60. The regular newsstand price is $1.95 per issue. So ultimately we're figuring out how much is saved per issue by paying the subscription price. So then you would do 15.60 divided by 12, because we want to know how much per issue it is cents-wise. So you're going to get $1.30. So you're spending $1.30 per issue if you buy the subscription. And that's the annual at the beginning of the year. So then you're going to do what we already know of $1.95 per issue at the newsstand minus the $1.30 per subscription issue, to which you get the answer of 65 cents per issue after they had set that problem up. So what they're saying is that 65 cents is saved per issue if you had bought the subscription rather than buying them separately at the newsstand every month. So in our Van de Waal text, it says students who struggle with solving world problems need to spend adequate time thinking about the problem and what it's all about. And so what this even means is that they need to know what they're solving before they just start computing random numbers in the problem. So in this first student, they did 1365. So they have math squares on the back where they show their work, but the work wasn't even there. So that just means that they took the 1560 and added the 195 and then tried to divide that all and get the 85 cents. Student number 2 got the answer of 117 per issue. This has no work following any of it, so I'm not even real sure on how they got 1560. And then student 3 had the right answer of 65 cents, but they didn't write it correctly. They said saved 95 cents each and then circled 65 cents. They had a bunch of work on the side, so they got to the right answer. They just did not accurately show where the 95 cents meant. So what does this mean? This just means that we need to spend more time in our classroom focusing on what the question really means and how we can actually solve it. Common errors for this were just people not reading the problem the way they should have been reading it, and they were just rushing through their test. So we need to go back over that in class.